I think the Give Me a High Five card reminds me of like a jungle scene and like, I don't know, men playing Rambo or something. The crane totally matched this card, and the background just seemed like it was a setting sun and they were out in the woods or the jungle and they were hunting or something and they got their catch and dudes were like, hey dude, give me a high five. You did it. And they smack the hands up in the air and they're like totally macho. And that's what I felt from this card. This is What the Craft, Jax. Hey, welcome back. I'm Jax, and I'm gonna walk you through some of my ATCs I created. I pulled out my Ranger Tim Holtz Distress Paints, and I wanted to use these so bad, and I pulled out a stencil that I thought that I could use. My ATCs were cut from scraps of mat board that I had laying around. I pulled out my Liquitex Professional Flexible Modeling Paste. Put out my picked raspberry and seedless preserves and started creating a portion of the background. I know this isn't the typical technique with the distress paints, but I wanted to try something different with them since I'm kind of new to them. I made sure that I covered the edges just to make it look nice, and I let those dry. And I pulled out some mustard seed and wild honey and created some backgrounds. And then I also had some twisted citron and peeled paint on the other background. And I took out my stencils and put them on the card and then proceeded to put the modeling paste on the stencil with my palette knife. Then I took some twisted citron and I put that on just a piece of old packaging that I had laying around. I mixed the modeling paste with the twisted citron paint and then used that on cards as well. And you can see here I'm pulling out some different types of stencils to use on the card. I just wanted to try different things. I thought that the words were cool, but I wanted to try something else as well. So I pulled out my cracked pistachio, my wilted violet, and my worn lipstick. I think that they're just fine for stamping. And I got my Valentine's Unicorn Recollection stamps. And I pulled out some spice marmalade, took a baby wipe, and used that to just spread some ink over the now dried modeling paste. Then I took out some liquid pearls in the turquoise color, and I think that's ballerina blush or something. I'll post all the colors in the description below, along with product links if you're interested in anything. Took out some glue and I attached an origami crane and used my alcohol marker just to touch it up to make sure that there was no white showing. I wanted to line the ATC with some purple bling. I cut that with my X-Acto knife because this sheet of bling is actually a full sheet of bling. They are not individual, so you can cut them to any size that you need. And I got those at Hobby Lobby. Paper Studio brand, I believe. The next set of ATCs, I am using my spice marmalade and my cracked pistachio and some wilted violet Distress Oxide inks, and I'm just smudging it all around. I don't care what it looks like. And then I'm taking my water spritzer, my mini mister, and I'm spritzing that with water and just letting it sit to dry. And I'm going through all of the cards that I have done, and I'm doing the same. I'm just smudging them with ink and making sure that they're all covered on the edges, and then I'm spritzing them with water and just letting them dry. And now I'm doing a different technique with the Distress Oxides, and I'm putting the ink down on a piece of old packaging, and I am spritzing that with water, and then I'm smudging that on the card and allowing it to dry. And the trick with these Oxide inks is to just layer it after layer it after layer, and you want to make sure it's dry before you layer it again. It won't turn to brown mud or anything like that like the Distress inks do. However, it just doesn't turn out as nice if you don't layer it after it's dried. And now I'm taking out my Spectrum Noir Illustrator alcohol markers, and I'm just lining the edges of the raised embossed area of the lettering that I had stenciled on earlier. And I did this just to make sure you could kind of see the pieces, and then I also just really like the look. And I'm using a Sailor Freshly Picked Pastel Collection rolling ball pen in the mint green. And then I follow that up with a Pigma Micron pen 4 or 5 millimeter in black, just to give it a nice outlines. I go into my sticker stash and I pull out some borders that I had hanging out. I cut those to size, take off the adhesive, and place that onto the ATC. You can see there's kind of a theme of sun and the beach and the lake and fishes and sunshine and traveling. I just love that stuff. That's just so fun. Love that color, the colors on that origami crane. I just love it. And on this particular card, it just looks like under the sea. You know, I should have put it like a mermaid in there, really. I could not for the life of me think of what kind of word to put on this card to inspire hope or whatever. Seriously, I probably sat there for like an hour trying to figure out what the hell to put on this card, and I finally figured it out, and I just put enjoy. So enjoy my card, like enjoy the under the sea, whatever that means. I feel like the origami crane came from Hawaii or was traveling to Hawaii and just wore a Hawaii shirt. I would assume that that is under the sea in Hawaii. Here's another Hawaii crane, except I would think that that's not an origami Hawaii crane. I would say that that's more tropics. And well, not that Hawaii isn't tropical, but maybe it's like Mexico or something. And those are all my ATCs that I created, and I had a super great time checking out how the Distress Oxide inks worked and how the Distress paints worked. I think they worked really well together, and I can't wait to use them together again. So thanks for joining me today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing what else I'm up to, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and make sure that you ring my bell so that next time I upload, you get a notification in your email. Until next time, love you guts. Bye.